So. Sehr merkwürdiges Bildformat. New Game. Willkommen zurück. Ich mache einen Versuch noch, das Ganze auf Sophia zu schieben. Insofern kann ich das Intro skippen. Mich wundert, dass hier ich meinen Mantel... Achso, doch, Moment. Dann kann ich den Mantel auch ausziehen. I'd rather keep my coat. Good evening, Mr. Aaron. May I take your coat, of course? Take this blasted wet thing off me! You're new, aren't you? Sophia's my name. I recognize you from the pictures, Mr. Aaron. I'm not new exactly. Achso. I'm not new exactly. I'm employed by your family for almost a year. It's just that you have never been visiting before. I've been busy. Hier hätte ich vielleicht sie ein bisschen mit reinziehen können, damit sie mich mag. Ja, und sie dann hintergeht. My work keeps me very busy, unfortunately. I understand. I've been away from my family a lot since I started this job. You are here now, and I'm sure you're eager to meet with the others. Your father's in the library on your left, and your mother is in the parlor, which is on your right. Your sister's upstairs in her room. Thank you for your help, Sophia. You are very welcome, Mr. Aaron. I will be in the kitchen preparing dinner. I'll sound the bell when dinner is served. So, jetzt geht er runter. Kann ich eigentlich jemals... Achso, Moment. Ich werde jetzt... Oh, Rope. Leave the rope where it is. Ich werde jetzt erstmal mit meinem Vater und meiner Mutter reden, damit das nicht wieder mir zum Vorwurf gemacht wird. Oder erst zur Mutter. Hi, Mom. I see you made it, Aaron. Forgive me, I don't stand. Your mere presence has almost given me a heart attack. Hello, Mother. Please sit down if you want to talk properly, Aaron. Don't want to crane my neck looking up at you. Ja, würde ich gern tun. Wo kann ich denn hinsetzen? Irgendwo. Please sit down. Ja, will ich doch. Was ist das hier? Doch, da sitze ich. So, Aaron, you finally managed to make it up here for a visit. Please tell me you aren't just here to cause trouble. Whatever do you mean? Vielleicht erfahre ich ja was Nettes. I have no idea what you mean, Mother. I'm here to celebrate Father's birthday is all. I certainly hope that is the case. This family has been through enough. Have you been up to see your sister yet? She has been going through an unusually difficult time recently. Will she be okay? You sound worried. Do you think it's serious? I have not seen her this bad in a long time. Do you remember that summer when she with a razor in the bathroom? I remember. That was the last time I remember seeing her like this. So yes, to answer your question, I'm worried. Anyway, you should go and talk to your father if you haven't already. Wish him a happy birthday. Oh, and at least try to sound like you mean it. Gerne. Razor, wo kann ich denn sowas kriegen? Wo kann ich denn sowas kriegen? Father, my dear! Even now, the familiar musty smell und so weiter und so fort. Sie kennen das aus dem ersten Video, okay? Ich springe hier so ein bisschen drum, ne? Also, ich setze mich mal hin. Get away, boy! The chair is for the dog. Dann kann ich mich hier hinsetzen. Neben dich, Vater. Mich an dich kuscheln. Get away, boy. The chair is for the dog. Okay. Father. Hello, Father. Your father remains silent for several moments and a chill seems to pass through the library. When he finally speaks, it is in a quiet and bitter tone. You told me you'd never enter this house again, boy. Why are you here? To see you, of course, Father. Happy birthday. It's obvious why I'm here. I want to put all that unpleasantness behind us and wish you a happy 50th birthday. Happy? You honestly think this is a happy day for me? Another day where I can watch my life's work crumble into nothing? Another day to see our bloodline slits its own throat? You know how to make me happy. Move back to Dunshield. Take your proper place and do your damn duty. Ja, das habe ich eben gemacht, ne? You have to let me live my own life. Ich kann also nicht einfach schleimen, ne, und sagen, was ich tue, ne? It's too late, Father. I have my own life now. My own home. My own job. Damn them both to hell! Do you think your pathetic little life really means anything? You are the last of a noble dynasty that stretches back hundreds of years. What does your life mean next to that? Everything. You're the same snot-nosed brat you always were, boy. Obviously, I didn't give you enough discipline as a child. If you can't be civil, I will take my leave. I can see you are determined to be impossible. I think we had better end this discussion now. You are the impossible one, boy, as always. But I think you're probably right about one thing. This conversation is pointless. And now, it's over. Get out of here! So, kann ich hier noch was angucken? When your father is looking quietly, open the top drawer and look inside. It seems to be filled with his memorabilia. One of the items has shoulder bones, the cruel leather tawse your father used to beat you with when you were a child. Perhaps if you planted it in the right place, might raise questions. Nee, ich will den Plan, den ich beim letzten Mal, der sich mir erschlossen hat. Den werde ich versuchen. Das heißt, ich gehe mal runter. Und zwar gehe ich in Sophias Räume. Und nehme da die Spiegelscherben mit. Broken Mirror. Take it. Yes, I'm sure. So. So, und dann muss ich zu meiner Schwester rauf, ne, und diese Liebesbriefe holen. Gucken, ob das funktioniert. Interessant, dass hier die Zeit nicht abläuft. Ne? Wäre ja auch naheliegend, dass man irgendwie nur so und so viel Zeit hat. Interessant wäre es auch, wenn die anderen zwischendurch irgendwo hingehen würden. Dass man sich das merken könnte. Ja, dann gehe ich doch mal rein. Da sitzt sie und schaut in den Spiegel. Es gibt mir die Gelegenheit, hier rumzusnoopen. Sister's too busy. Und you find a pair of silky undergarments with her initials. Ach nein, Moment. Wo war denn das Diary? Verflixt. Ornate clocks. Sister's third love. Unten, ne? Na gut, ich rede mal mit ihr. Ich werde mich nett zeigen bei ihr. Ah, I thought I smelled a rat. Have you come to see me, little rat? How are you feeling? Hello, Jennifer. How have you been? How have I been? What an odd thing for a little rat to ask. Normally they just say squeak, squeak. You used to have a pet rat, didn't you? Remember what I did to him? Oh, how he squeaked. Such great pain for such a little creature. Das ist furchtbar, ne? Mother seems very worried about you. Condition has been getting worse. My condition? What condition? I don't have a condition. You want to have me sent away, don't you? Well, it won't work. It won't, I tell you. Go away. I don't want to speak to you anymore. Gerne. Wir sehen uns später, Schwester. So. Ne, falsch. Da wollte ich gar nicht rein. Hier rein. Und ich weiß nicht, warum sie da unten ihr Tagebuch aufhebt. War das hier? Ich glaube schon, ne? Managed to force on locker writing this. Seem to be love letters penned to an unidentified female from the description. I guess it's the new maid. Interesting. Penned to an unidentified female from the description. Are you sure you want to take the poem? Remember, you can only pick 2 objects. Yes, I'm sure. Take the most intimate and lovelorn poem you can find and hide it on your person. So, jetzt will ich jetzt gerade... Kann ich hinterher nochmal. Again, the bell invites me, this time to dinner. So, was mache ich denn jetzt? Jetzt soll ich wieder nett sein zu allen, ne? Das kann nicht falsch sein. Sophia, could you come here a moment? Yes, ma'am. Pour me some more wine. Yes, ma'am. But, madam! Oh, what is it, George? I must protest. It has always been my duty to pour the wine at dinner. Oh, well, I don't want to cause any trouble. Nonsense. What does it matter, George? Stop being overly pedantic. But I... Okay. Hier muss ich irgendwas sagen, was mich irgendwie anecken lässt mit irgendjemandem, ne? Oh. Also damit wäre George jedenfalls auf meiner Seite, ne? Das ist das Netteste, was man sagen kann. Ist meine Mutter verliebt in das neue Hausmädchen? Habe ich das vielleicht gerade eben falsch verstanden? Come on, George. Pour the wine. Let George pour. Das hatte ich aber schon mal, ne? Don't you think you've had enough, Mother? Careful, Mother. If you drink much more, you might end up embarrassing yourself. Aaron! What a rude little rat you are. That's enough of you. Schon bin ich wieder mit allen im Streit. How dare you insult your mother? An interfering little rat, isn't he, Daddy? Yes, yes. Why can't you ever keep your mouth? Ja, ich muss ihn nicht noch weiter provozieren, ne? Perhaps, you're right, I'm sorry. I must have had too much wine myself. You'd better not let it happen again. Sophia, could you come here, please? Yes, Miss Jennifer? Just want to say that it was the loveliest meal, you cunning pixie. You're too kind, miss. Also, you're too kind, miss. Of course, I will have tea and cakes and dinner for you, as usual. Oh, you are so good to me, you sweet thing. So very, very good to me. Ich bin mal gespannt, was hier gesagt wird. So kann ich das jetzt zumindest irgendwie... Sophia isn't interested in your advances, sister. Leave the girl alone, would you, sister? She obviously is not interested in your advances. Shut up, rat. You ruin everything. Aaron, don't accuse your sister of such things. That's quite enough. Anyway, let's not forget why we are here today. To celebrate your father's birthday. Such a very important occasion for us all. Na, das wäre jetzt naheliegend, dass ich diese Idee zumindest hier irgendwie in die Leute reingepflanzt habe. You're so dear to us, Malcolm. Happy birthday, Daddy. Indeed, happy birthday, Father. Let's hope it will be one to remember. So. Ich habe echt nicht aufgepasst, ob die Liebesbriefe für meine Schwester waren. Ich dachte, das wäre es, weil es so naheliegend war, ne? Weil sie ja sich daran macht. Also, muss ja wohl. Gut. Schauen wir mal. Das heißt, ich sollte jetzt die Briefe bei meiner Schwester unterbringen. Jetzt könnte ich übrigens auch bei ihm unten irgendwie hingehen. Also, ne? Also bei George. Poem. By your sister, doch. Eindeutig. Come hither, thou sweet and flame-haired maiden. Let us play the games which have been forbidden. In dusty old rooms of this home in which I live in. Come hither to me and do my sweet bidding. Süß. You find yourself unable to continue reading this poem. You're pretty sure that forbidden isn't a word and that the rest doesn't really rhyme. Do you want to plant this item? Yes. You decide that your sister's wardrobe is the ideal location to plant this evidence. Gut. Also, meine Idee ist, wie Sie sich denken können, lieber Zuschauer, dass klar wird, dass meine Schwester sich rangemacht hat an Sophia und Sophia nichts für übrig hat und jetzt aus Verzweiflung meine Schwester umbringt. Mit dem Ding, ne? Mit dem Glassplitter aus dem Spiegel meiner Schwester. Broken glass. Your sister cries out in surprise as you grab her from behind. You quickly muffle those cries with one hand before pressing the shard of broken glass against her throat. She struggles valiantly as you cut her throat open, but you manage to hold her in place until she finally goes limp. You drop her lifeless body on the ground, along with the broken glass. It's time to leave this room before your deed is discovered. Ich hoffe, ich habe mir nicht die Hände zerschnitten. So, raus. Raus mit mir. Ah, hier vielleicht rein. Wer ist damit? Hi, George. Do you hear that, sir? Did you hear that? Gerade wollte ich noch ein bisschen mit ihm reden. So. George hatte keinen Grund, jetzt sauer auf mich zu sein, oder? Meine ich. Ich habe ihn ja mehr oder weniger in Schutz genommen beim Essen. Jetzt bin ich mal gespannt. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Inspector Winston Lewis. I understand that this is a difficult time for your family. Damn right it is! I want to know what you're doing wasting time in here while my daughter's killer still out there, you fucking idiot! Well, Mr. Bruce, we have found no evidence of forced entry, and nobody was seen entering and leaving the house. It would seem entirely possible that the killer is in this room. What? No, that seems highly unlikable. Unlikable, Inspector. Perhaps it is. However, in order to follow protocol, I will have to interview each one of you in turn. Mrs. Bruce, would you like to meet me in the library? I suppose so. So, mal gucken, ob ich jetzt noch irgendwas beim Interview besser machen kann als vorher. Thank you for joining in here, Mr. Bruce. I'm sure this won't take long. Before we begin, I will need to search your person. Let's get these formalities behind me. Is this really necessary? I'm afraid so. Please turn around. Zip! That's out of the way. Oh, well, let's move to the interview. So, mal gucken. As you know, I've already spoken to everyone else who was in this house. We've also now completed our initial search. Well, let's start from the beginning, shall we? First of all, we'll run through all of your activities. The maid said that you and the butler arrived shortly after 7 o'clock, greeted you at the door. Later on, you had a conversation with your mother, Gloria, in the parlor. She says you spoke briefly about your sister. Apparently you seemed quite concerned about her well-being. Okay, hier könnte ich die Mutter noch mit reinreißen, ne? Wahrscheinlich wäre das eine sinnvolle Sache. Auf einen Moment. Suicide? Naja, nicht um 10 Ecken denken hier. My mother and I were concerned that my sister might try to take her own life, as she had attempted once before. She had she? I will take a note of that. You went to see your father in the library. I understand your conversation became quite heated. Vielleicht könnte er denken, dass sie sich umgebracht hat aus verzweifelter Liebe, ne? Also, dass die Sophia nicht auf ihre Avancen eingegangen ist. Vielleicht das. Sich selbst die Kehle durchschneiden mit Glas. Krass, ne? You went to see your father in the library. I understand your conversation became quite heated. My father has always had a temper. Many of our conversations go that way. Would you say he has a violent temper? Absolutely. I see. That's good to know. You discussed the prospect of your moving back to Dunshield. You refused to do so under any circumstances, I understand. Of course, I have already made my life elsewhere. Father fails to accept the fact that I have my own life. Can't just move back in here. I'm not even interested in inheriting the house. I wouldn't want that. Well, of course not. That's completely understandable. Did you speak to your sister before dinner? Yes, I did. I went to her room to see her. I see. What did you discuss with her? Das klingt ein bisschen geheimnisvoller, ne? Hier so, ne? I would rather not say. I would rather keep the details of my final private conversation with my sister to myself. I'm sure you understand. Actually, I don't. This is a serious investigation. If you insist, we will move on. Let's move on to the events that took place during dinner. Apparently you made a comment about your mother's drinking habits. Ja gut, ich werde es ein bisschen Richtung meiner Mutter schieben, ne? For own good. I felt I had to say something. I thought she was drinking far too much. Do you think this has anything to do with her difficulties in coping with your sister's condition? Almost certainly. Interesting. Apparently you accused your sister of making unwanted advances towards the maid. Well, someone had to. Felt I needed to call attention to it. She was just embarrassing herself. So her sister had a strong feelings for the maid. Yes, very strong feelings, but I'm not sure the maid knew anything about it. I see. Now I need to ascertain your location at the time of your sister's death. Where were you when you heard the maid scream? Ground floor? Moment, Kitchen und Pantry ist da drüben, ne? Library, Parlor, Storage Room, ne? Da war ich, oder? I was in the storage room next door. That's right, George did mention to me that you were in there with him. As I said earlier, we have completed our initial search of the property. We found a poem written by your sister which appears to clearly express romantic feelings towards the maid. However, from where we found the poem, there is no reason for us to believe the maid was aware of those feelings. Ja. Okay. Selbstmord, okay? Selbstmord? Einigen wir uns auf Selbstmord, Sir. Ich bin momentan aus dem Schneider. Ich werde nicht wirklich, bisher. Ja, ich habe mich mit keinem angelegt und so. Ich dachte jetzt eigentlich, ich würde Sophia ans Messer liefern. Aber dann hätte ich es bei Sophia wahrscheinlich ablegen müssen. Ne? Okay, aber so, Selbstmord? It is entirely possible that these feelings of unrequited love contributed to your sister's demise, though I'm curious about the murder weapon. The broken glass seems to have come from one of your sister's mirrors. We found the rest of it in the maiden's room. However, we can't rule out suicide, especially given your sister's mental condition and her obsession with mirrors. It is all very interesting. So, wir haben Selbstmord erwähnt, Mutter und ich. Und die unrequited love. Komm, bitte, Selbstmord. I will be completely honest with you, Mr. Bruce. While some of your behavior this evening has been peculiar, I cannot find any cause for any significant suspicion. While there is some suspicion regarding your father, I don't currently regard him as a serious suspect. I also think the evidence surrounding the maid might be worth another look. Despite any question marks about your mother, I don't think for a moment that she did this. All that said, a lot of the evidence does seem to point towards suicide. Now, for what happens next, you can go for now, but I would appreciate it if you did not leave town. I may have more questions for you later. I think another interview with a maid will be required also. Any inquest will probably consider suicide as a very real possibility. Suicide. Although the inspector harbored his own suspicions about you, the evidence of suicide you had planted was quite conclusive. The inquest resulted in a clear verdict. With no other heirs remaining, your father reversed his plans to cut you out of his will. When your parents died, you inherited everything! Dunshiel House was yours, along with the fortune that came with it. However, George and Sophia found themselves unable to continue serving in the place after what had happened. Aber keiner verdächtigt mich, nicht mal die beiden. Ich hätte Sophia gern noch bald und George auch. Das ist ein absolutes Happy Ending, würde ich sagen. As you spent many long sleepless nights wandering through the rooms of the house, you found that its emptiness was reflected within yourself. You had become hollow inside, free of everything but the nightmares that continued to haunt you. We are the Hollow Men. We are the Hollow Men. Okay, also natürlich, das Spiel muss mir so einen kleinen moralischen Kinnhaken geben, ne? Aber das war erfolgreich. Ich sehe gerade, Achievement, The Perfect Crime. The verdict is suicide. 10,7% der Spieler haben das nur erreicht. Und es war natürlich mal meine erste Idee, aber natürlich. Was mir hieran gefällt, ist, dass ich keinen Unschuldigen irgendwie umgebracht habe. Von daher ist das doch eine echt gute Sache, würde ich sagen. Hätte ich jetzt die Zeilen, also die Liebesbriefe, in Sophias Raum versteckt, ne? Dann wäre sie dran gewesen, ne? Und die Mutter kann man auch noch irgendwie rumkriegen. Also wahrscheinlich kann man jede Person als Täter anschmieren. Und das wäre so eine Herausforderung, ne? Das ist ein hübsches Spielkonzept. Wahrscheinlich kann man sich das so aufzeichnen, ne? Was bei wem wie ist. Interessant fände ich noch, wenn man die Schrotflinte benutzen würde. Ne? Da hat man ja keine Chance mehr zu entkommen irgendwie. Ob das möglich wäre. Also könnte man sich so kleine eigene Herausforderungen stellen. Einen Mord mit der Schrotflinte begehen, ohne als Schuldiger angesehen zu werden. Ja. Sehr schönes Spielkonzept. Dafür, dass es wirklich so absolut Indie ist. Es gibt noch Fortsetzungen hiervon, einige. Also, ich glaube 2 Fortsetzungen und dann noch irgendwas, was sich Dynasty nennt oder so. Macht mich sehr neugierig und werde ich auch auf jeden Fall ausprobieren. Sehr tolles Spielkonzept und ich weiß gar nicht, ob es mehr in dieser Richtung gibt. Also so nicht die Aufklärung von Fällen, sondern das Vertuschen von Fällen. Also, außer natürlich Among Us und diese Sachen. Oder diese Traitor-Games, die es da gibt. Falls jemand irgendwas weiß, Spiele in der Art, bitte mal in die Kommentare. Ich bin sehr neugierig auf Sachen in dieser Art. Cooles Ding. Bis dann.